You know how I feel. 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 You know how I feel.
you guys are hearing me. Let's give you a look. All right. Sweet. Okay. I'm hoping you guys are seeing me. Sweet. Uh-oh. Okay. Anyway, hey everybody. Let me get this better situated. There's my girl Spiral, and they're behind me there. It's cool to see you guys saying what's up to everybody, and hello. We are building a little community here, and if you're new, you can be as shy as you want to, but if you want to, join us and say what's up, it's awesome. See and hear you, sweet. I'm not going to go into it. As always, if you notice a big change in quality or something, as always, please let me know. So that I can address the situation. Pretty much, this is about the best that my crappy internet will deliver. So, I want to first of all say thank you to everybody for joining me, and I have been, as most of you know, I've been teaching HoopPath since 2005. And that woman behind me there, pictured, her name is Vivian Spiral. And she and I, okay, cool. The quality looks good. Okay, so you're welcome. You're welcome. So she actually got a gig to teach the HoopPath in Carrboro, North Carolina, or not to teach the HoopPath, to teach hooping, and in Carrboro, North Carolina. And I had been hooping one of her, the main, sort of hoop buddy in her life. And, not the only, but one of the main ones. And she invited me to teach a hoop class with her. And when we were trying to decide who was going to go, she had been busy doing hoop gigs. And so she just sort of said, you just take the first class and I'll take the next class. And so I said, fine. And I went in, and I had been thinking about how to teach hooping for 3 years. And so when I sat down, my mom was a teacher, my dad was a minister, and it just, I'm not saying it was the best class ever. It was probably pretty horrible. But I know that when we came out of it, Viv said, or Spiral said, Bax, you should do the talking. And she's actually extremely eloquent and a great speaker. I think writing is where she feels more strong, but I think she's a great speaker too. But more or less, we developed this thing where we would kind of do a belief strength grace thing where she was the belief. So she and I would work out the technique that we were going to talk about, and then she and I would be kind of as I'm teaching it, she's showing it as sort of the belief. And she did teach on her own, and but it was that was sort of the piace that we found. And then as the My Dan stories started to come in, I wanted to honor everybody that was in my circle with a My Dan character. And so the My Dan characters weren't really based on Vivian. There's obviously some similarities in the way that I see it or in Spiral, but for the most part, she's her own archetype. And it just so happens that Spiral inspired her. And so when I talk about Kaia tonight, I'm not talking about this latest incarnation of Kaia named Spiral. And there's things about Kaia that are that maybe nothing like Spiral. Only Spiral would know that. And so I just want to be really clear about that. Also, in my effort to, let me make sure I'm not missing any comments I need to pay attention to. Sweet, everybody's just saying hey. Also, I'm wanting to really teach the myth, but I also want to teach it in the way that I sort of understood it and taught it initially, which is tied to a technique. So it's not just stories, but it was a vehicle that we used. The stories of Kaia were vehicles, and all the My Dan are just vehicles to help us teach movement, and they don't require any belief in anything, no more than you need to believe in Harry Potter, right? But within the Harry Potter stories or the Star Wars stories or these famous myths and or these ancient traditions, there's this piece that we connect to. in the characters, and that peace is, as cheesy as it sounds, it's for the most part it's eternal, because we believe that we are feeling the same passion in our hearts that this character felt, or we're feeling the same conviction or the same strength, and sometimes even the same woe as our hero self. And so when I teach these stories, I want to tie them to technique. With Kaia, it's really easy to do it because Kaia in her story is called the warrior. Now, to be clear, Kaia the warrior is not a name that she selected, and it was not a name that the Maidan gave her. Kaia the warrior was the name that the towns surrounding where she ultimately camped out, they called her that. And they meant it as a very, as a high honor. It was a super long time ago, so you can imagine kind of the sexism that Kaia dealt with, and to be given the warrior title by the town was not in any way disrespectful. In fact, it was kind of an honor. But it was a dubious honor for her because, she was basically haunted by really bad people because she collected all of these other younger orphaned girls, and she protected them. She had grown up on the streets, and she was just a badass athlete, a badass person, and as tough and as sort of rough as she was, she had this soft spot, and so she collected these young girls, and they were very often wanted to, they actually unfortunately became a commodity as well as a serious responsibility for her. So she never, of course, was going to let these bad people have them. So she had to develop a very rough exterior. But at the heart of what she was doing was protecting these little girls that were back in these woods, that they lived in the woods. And so this is the character of Kaia. And so when we call her the warrior, or in the story when it calls her the warrior, that's a nickname that was not one chosen by her, but one given to her. And she definitely did not, she was not afraid to quarrel, but she did not go looking for fights or anything like that. And I think if people had just left her alone, she would not have been so badass. So this is the character that we're going to launch into tonight, is Kaia the warrior. And the techniques that we're going to work on tonight and the way that we're going to practice are going to be techniques like this character would have Kaia. So, all right, we're going to jump into sway. And I'm sure something will go wrong, but I don't know what it'll be right now. Okay. All right, this is not so bad. Okay. So if you've never done this with me before, yeah. Okay, cool. Am I? Okay, cool. Let's get on. Okay, let's make sure we got this going. Okay, so here we are. Audible breath in. There we go. Audible breath in. Most of you have been taking this class a while, and you have your own method of sway. You have your own series of stretches that you do. And if Kaia were here, she would want you to do those stretches and sway that way. To say that Kaia had a problem with authority would be probably the largest understatement one could make. She really resented authority, and particularly male authority. She had grown up without a mother. We don't really know what happened. All we know is that her mother gave her a dagger. I really don't know what it looked like, but she gave her a dagger. And Kaia carried that dagger with her on her person 24/7. She didn't even take it off to swim or to bathe. She carried it in her pouch. Audible breath in. Kaia believed that whatever the town folks saw and called her a warrior was a spirit and an energy that she hosted. And if she needed to be drawn into a conflict, to a confrontation, towards trouble or danger, she would conjure that spirit. And even though I've told you you can, or she's told you that you can sway and move any way you like, Kaia had very aggressive techniques for calling it. One of those techniques was to drum. She would drum her legs. Audible breath in. She would shake her hands. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Warrior came from an energy that she felt was with her all the time, that she only had to open to. As always, let me know if the music sounds okay. No? Okay, switch to it. If the mic needs to come up, let me know. Kaia wasn't, completely lost in it. She would take the time to do lengthy stretches. She would do actions, repetitive actions, to help wake up both sides of the body. So she would just move her right hand if that's what she needed to do, or just move her left hand if that's what she needed to do. she would have worn Puma slides. Kaia's sense of form was a little bit different than our own. When she was in her practice space, her form was whatever opened her the best. She didn't always stick to perfect symmetry of movement. She would try to spend time in both sides of the body, both hands, both feet. If you've been beaten up lately, my life, I'm okay, I'm good, things are good in my life. But if you have been beaten up, it can be tough to sometimes find this spirit that we're talking about, this resiliency. And Kaia believed that we could use the body to help us feel that spirit. Action creates an invitation. That when we move, we activate ourselves, that we're also inviting in free flow, creative expression. We're telling our creative juices that they can use your left hand or your right. Big breaths into the body. In a while, spend some time on one leg. Wake up both sides of the body. Okay. I'm flying solo here in the home studio tonight, just me. So if you guys want to chime in and let me know you're here, that's awesome. Okay, so a couple of things. This mic is a little... All right, okay. Hopefully everything's sounding good. Okay. As I mentioned before, Kaia's mother had given her a dagger. And when Kaia was a little girl, there was a beautiful, radiant, and kind of hard to describe older woman, probably in her upper 50s, maybe 60s. And she had come to the town where Kaia was living in the streets. She was beautiful and she was graceful, and she carried with her a tree circle. A circle made of a special kind of tree. And Kaia loved this woman, but she was drawn to that circle. And so as a little girl, she ran up and she grabs this circle and she takes off running with it, and she steals her very first hoop. And she falls in love with it. She likes to hold it. She likes to move it. And she realizes that she now has to share her hands with the hoop and not just the dagger. But at first, she holds the hoop like a dagger. And this is where our samurai form comes from. She holds the hoop nice and strong. She holds it in the same way she held that dagger, which was a connection to her mom,
warrior
a connection to safety.
does not react, but instead responds. An inner knowing of the soul, an anchored confidence that is solid. No fight must be had, for the battle has already been won within. A conquered encoding that translates through all. Honor and be honored. Be courageous and compassionate. Recalibrate to respond. No power is given to that which is not resonant. The master of frequency.
You're
following the formula of flow.
You're moving freely. We're more interested in getting into the right headspace, the right heart space.
The power is integrated, harnessed to direct accordingly.
Let go of the hoop, I grip the hoop, I let go of the hoop, I grip the hoop.
Moving with grace and precision. Action from passion. Adaptable and flexible. The peaceful warrior is satiated fully by every moment. Not seeking, just receiving.
Open. Occupy your the left side of your body. Occupy the right side. If you haven't taken a flow class or a myth class before, these are flow classes. Some instructions kept you loose.
Abundance of all that is needed, always provided for and protected by peace. The inner hunger of the soul always guiding to more expansion. relaxed mind, allowing permission of the heart.
Right? However you're moving, think of your feet.
The peaceful
Bring your
warrior
awareness to your feet.
knows every occurrence is purposed, holding a gift and guidance for the next moment. One's mission is divinely fulfilled by living fully with integrity. And so that is the choice that is honored through everything that is.
Okay, so, oh, nice. I'm glad you guys dig the song. Yeah, this playlist is already made, and I'll put it on SoundCloud right after. I used, I'll be honest, SoundCloud put some of it together for me, which was awesome. Okay, so here we are, and so much of what Kaia, one expression of this energy, she core hooped, she did everything, but is the grip itself. And if you're new to hooping, which most of you probably aren't, really understanding the grip and developing a good grip, whatever style you want to do, can really be helpful for you. And to feel like little nuances, like I push all 4 of my inside knuckles into the hoop if I want to anyway, and I sort of feel that pressure, the pressure in my hand of the hoop as it moves around. No, when my friend Spiral first started doing samurai techniques, those hoops were huge, and this is one of the reasons that hoops got small. So if you're using a really small hoop, now here's where story and the actual story sort of converge. I love telling this story, but hooping was so boring back then that that techniques were so easy to do. And Spiral went away, and I remember I said, Spiral, I want to show you this thing. And so I showed her this move, and you're going to be blown away. And we were already shoulder hooping by then. This is like 2002, 3. And we were shoulder hooping, and Anna had inspired a lot of that. And I just showed her. I said, you ready? She said, yeah. And I said, that's all I did. I just pulled it off. I probably did nothing cool with it at all. And I remember Spiral was like, fuck yeah. Right? And I'm sure she'd probably already done it, but you know what I mean, for the sake of the story. And so, but what she did, and the reason I bring this up in relation to Kaia, is that in honor of where sort of Spiral and Kaia merged for me was in their love of sustained spinning. And in my stories of Kaia, I had always imagined that this must be sort of how she, like somebody, with just the awareness that Kaia had of her body, that probably in order to sort of escape that awareness, she would have to just spin constantly. And my friend Spiral and Kaia were both good at sustained stalling. And so they would grip the hoop and turn with the hoop. And Spiral and Ann and Beth and lots of the Carver hoopers down here could do it for literally minutes. I've always been kind of a little dizzy. And then because of that dizziness, I started doing breaks. So as we step back into the Kaia story, she grips the hoop, she turns with it, feels that connection to all things turning or whatever. But then she stops, she plants outside of that, and comes back up. She showed that she can spin left, spin right, connect to the left, connect to the right. This movement that I'm doing right here is a great little circuit to learn if you haven't done this one before. I'm not good at sustaining stalls, but one thing that can help is to keep the hoop in front of you. Spiral puts hers down here, I think, or back here. I like to keep mine right here in front of me. Break that. That break is what we're going to talk about. Essentially, I break it, and you can keep the hoop looking aloft. You have to turn that grip back up. I hope I'm making sense to you guys tonight. I really do. Busy. Nice.
Trying to hustle some things that go with the Porsche. Feeling no remorse, feeling like my hand was forced. Middle finger to the law, nigga, crick on my ball. Said the ladies love me from the bleachers, they screaming. All the ballers is bouncing, they like the way I'm leaning. All the rappers
that's
hating,
advice I can give you and why
but all the
Kaia is
love
such
it
a
just to
good
see one of us make it. Came from the
role model for us in this strength all the way through. Seeing Grace is the result of strength.
Man, I'm straight off the block.
Not in spite of it, but the result of it. These are double samurai grips. I realize that some of you will not resonate with this technique, and maybe you don't resonate with this song. But for some of you, this beat, this technique, it could open that badass feeling in you. And everybody around you would rather you be in that place. Getting a little dizzy. Just a little bit so I can talk over it. All right. So one of the sort of skills that comes out of this we'll get back into more of the Kaia story. But part of the Kaia story is how she practiced. And she was a driller. She was more of a technician. And actually, when Spiral practices, she practices 17 different things. And I don't mean 17 different things with one prop, but different props, different body movements. And it's in that spirit that Kaia would practice, and that can really help you if you ever get bored in your hoop. If you're not feeling it every single time, you're not necessarily feeling totally inspired to bring your creative best, you can do drills. And these drills are what I imagined Kaia would do. And so I'll show you a couple of them. One is spinning the hoop out of your hand and catching it. I can't find my other hoop, but this is a great one for doubles. Rolling the hoop forward, rolling the hoop backwards. All right. Yeah, if you get dizzy, just spin the other way. Okay, we're spinning the hoop forward and backward on the inside. But you can spin the hoop forward and backward on the outside. I like that. It reverses the brain juices. Okay, so I can spin the hoop forward or backward. Now, we've done this move before, but I'm in my samurai, and I can fold the hoop down. I can let the hoop fall down to the other side of my elbow, onto the back of my hand, and then I roll the hoop into a grip. So I'm here, and I roll it there. Okay, very Kaia. In fact, this is how Jula teaches Kaia point technique. So I'm here, and I can do any version of this, but I'm going to release the hoop. It's going to roll onto the other side of my elbow and then onto my hand. That's a good one. And then I can start to get cute with it and kind of isolate. And so that's why this ability to create momentum up or down, like boom, 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 inside or outside, creates a lot of cool stuff for you. I'll bring the music up some. I use a 38 hoop. I don't know what it's called anymore. It's 3/4. It's a Trinity Star. It's the best hoop company in the world to me. If anyone has a hoop company here, I'm sure it's awesome too. But for me, they're the best. So, I'll show you these moves. One thing I don't want to overwhelm you with a story, but to help you find some of these forms, it's like, remember Kaia has a dagger too. So she has hoop and dagger. Eventually she gets rid of the dagger, but for now she's got hoop and dagger. And so that, having two objects in her hands really helps her, understand, bring awareness to both sides. And you can accomplish this. You don't need to go get a dagger. But like, I'll hold my Sharpie that I write my class notes on here. I've got that there. Any object, you could use your blindfold. And you suddenly become really aware of whatever's holding something. This is like our chopstick class. Keeping my offhand moving however I'm exploring. What I like to do is create, from here, create body roll movements, like that. playlist, make sure I know what's coming. Oh, sweet. Okay. Okay. So, Kaia the warrior, holding things, tightly in her hand. Oops. Dagger. But we're in that place, we're feeling our grip, thinking strong. Hallucinations. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring even quicker action to it. And we're going to do that with hops. Right? Here, hop. Now, if you imagine that you are the last line of defense for people that you care about, then you would probably have offensive postures and defensive postures. When I bring the hoop inside, I'm within it. This is a defensive. And then these big swoops could be offensive. And then we're battling demons, we're not battling real people here. Open. Audible breath in.
There are drugs that cause hallucinations.
And it takes a point in the story, late in the story, but eventually Kaia drops the dagger from her movement and brings both hands to the hoop. And with two hands, she can use grip and all the subtleties and nuance that it allows to keep her enemies at bay and keep everyone else safe. Audible breath in.
Not my goodies.
Honestly, I'm playing this song because this is the kind of song Spiral loves. Glad you guys are digging it. We're already running out of time. If you think about it, if you were trying to scare away a fight, not scare up one, but scare one away, then you would bring every part of the body into the motion to make it look that much more intimidating for anyone that would want to be on the wrong end of this technique. And as Hooper is borrowing this page from the story can really help us develop our movement now, but also our development in the future.
It's always gonna be harder than it seems. I cannot let that shit get to me.
One way you can add that flair I'm talking about is with palm spins, even if it's just one. If you're new to palm spins, just suck the hoop into your hand. Imagine you're an elephant trunk here and you're just going to pull through in that hand.
Just another cycle, just another wave. I'ma be alright though, I'ma be okay. Just another cycle, just another wave. Bitch, just started, I know, this is nothing new to me. I've been down so much that it got used to me. I know better than to think it's over with. That shit always end up like it used to be.
Okay.
It's just another cycle, it's just another wave.
Yeah. I'll put the playlist up in just a second.
Just another cycle.
I definitely have it. It's on my SoundCloud right now, and I'll send it to you. Or put it in the comments.
I know, that's just what my life is like. I pick myself back up when the time is right. The dark is just to show me what the light is like. I can
Sweet Jackie, I'm glad you dug it.
that I can hide. I'm just learning how to let it be. I almost forgot I had a dream. It's always gonna be harder than it seems. How can I let that shit get to me? Right now is all we ever got. Tripping about the future ain't gon' give you what you want. Living in the past used to do that shit a lot. Living in my head
I
instead
love
of
this track, but since it's 12 minutes long, I'm gonna skip ahead. And give you guys a chance to practice some more stuff. We're almost out of time. So one thing I wanted to just throw in here really quick. I know this is, a technique class tonight. I can't emphasize how much fun you can have by being able to snap and move the hoop. Ooh. SoundCloud is under Future Hero. I'll put the link right now for the group of who's been left. appreciate her podcast. Okay, here we go. Okay, K-Swift. Boom. There you go. People have asked me if I would be on Spotify, and I just don't know that interface at all, that platform. I have stuff on there, but it's just stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. Hope you had some fun. And, since we're almost at the end here, I'm going to free hoop it just for a little bit for my own sake, because I want to hoop some. Sweet, guys. Thank you so much for these comments. I never know if there's not a comments because everybody's into it, or if there's not comments because nobody's into it. But thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, so just so we're clear, we're going to free hoop it out here. Well, thank you, K-Swift. Sweet, guys. Thank you for everything. Oh my god, can you imagine? Seriously. How the hugs that are about to happen when we can do that again with strangers. Actually, with anybody. Oh man, sweet. I do want to be famous. Actually, okay. I thought I was famous already though. Let's see. Okay, guys, just a few more songs, or one more song probably. And oh, sweet. Sweet. You guys are making my day with this feedback. This is awesome. I don't know who's still here online, but I will teach you we'll do this really quickly. I'll teach you the Kaia mantra. Okay. This is the Kaia mantra. This is what she would say to herself. Okay. No matter what movement she's doing, Kaia would take breaths and say, I got this, 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 I got this. And she would say it until she believed it. The Kaia mantra. I got this, 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 I got this. And just like any mantra, it comes up through the body. You believe it on a cellular level. I got this, I got this, I got this. I get it. I believe in myself just takes so much longer to say than I got this. Next class will be Thursday, by the way, 7 o'clock. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about 2-point, but I'm not positive. I'll let you know. Okay, we'll go one more song here and then we'll call it. Nice. we're gonna call it a night. Thank you guys so much.